I'm actually going to show you how to do your brows at home today. Let me zoom in to my... Wow. I actually grew them out for this video. Wow, I can't use the camera. Hold on. Okay. So, I actually grew them out so I can show you guys how I do my brows. Few different tools. I like to use a tweezer, some thread, some more tweezers, a pair of scissors, and sometimes this like face razor. I don't really use this because it tends to grow out my hair really coarse, and I don't like that personally, but for days that you're in a rush, like this works great. But other than that, I use all of the above, and I'm gonna show you how. All right, so let's get started. Guys, literally this is my third time filming this, but basically you want to be in a room where you have a lot of light coming in. I like to personally sit in natural light. As you can see, I have like 3 big windows in front of me, but you can literally choose whatever window as long as you have a good amount of light coming in. And then basically one other tool that I forgot to mention in the previous clip that I put in was a spoolie. This is gonna help you the most. Okay, so first I'm gonna start off by just brushing my hair up, not like properly. I mean, like, what I mean by that is like make sure all your hairs kind of like lift up so you can kind of see where you have to start making the cut. I have to start by cutting my eyebrows because that kind of shows me like where I need to tweeze and it gives me a better shape. So like right now, I can see that my hair is kind of, so you have to keep brushing because your hair will eventually go down, but you can kind of see that there is more growth towards here and then here, obviously, because these are thicker parts of my brow. But the other trick that you can also use is you can hold your spoolie down. So you can kind of do this and then cut off the excess, but you don't want to cut off the entire thing. You want to cut off literally the edges. So I'm going to try my best to show you what I mean by that. So you want to lift it up and you literally want to cut right along here. You don't want to make the cut like super deep into the brow because that can actually shift the entire shape of your brow. So I don't know. I'm going to do it on this brow because I feel like you can see it better, but I can see it better in the mirror here as well. So like that. Again, do you see the hair lifting up? And basically, and literally, I like to hold my scissors like this, not like this. You could, but you have more of a chance of cutting off your brow. So I like to keep it really, really straight. So I only get the edges that I need to cut off. Again, that's what's been lifted. I also like to like push it like that because then I can really see like where the growth is. That's a big chunk. I hope you can see that. And again, straight, and you just want to cut the edges because you don't want your eyebrows to go super skinny. I mean, unless that's the look that you're going for. I like to keep my brows pretty natural because even when I do my makeup, I don't really like to fill them in. But to each their own. Okay, and then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side as well. Ooh, that's a good chunk. And you can go from the other side too, because it's my left brow, you know, and I'm right-handed, so it looks kind of like pathetic, but. Okay, now the other thing I want to mention is that the most important part of your brow is basically this part. Don't cut it off. I see so many people like having brows that start from like here. No, that's not a cute look. You can cut it off at the ends if you want, because I see people having like those straight brows, but don't cut this part off. This is literally what makes your brow, okay? So you don't want to cut that off. So now that you have that, I like to start off with my unibrow. I'm sure you know how to tweeze, so just do your best. And again, you don't want to pick off hair that's really close to your brows here, because that's the part that's going to shape the brows. So just do what you can right in the middle, and then we're going to extend to the brows, okay? You can also use like the razor here if you're in a rush, but this I find like my hair will grow back really, really quick, and also it grows back like really coarse, so I don't really like that. But if you're in a rush and you need to, you know, go somewhere, which you clearly don't these days because you're at home, but you can use this, okay? But for now, I would just say to use a tweezer. And now I'm gonna start growing, I'm gonna start going right under like this hair, because there are certain shorter, very ingrown almost hair. And keep brushing it out, because that really helps you determine like where you want the shape. Okay, and now like for me, my hair tends to like, this part can get tricky sometimes because there's some hair that kind of like bend over this way. So I like to push it out and again, determine like what hair is coming out. It's not really adding to my shape. It's really tiny, almost ingrown. I like to pull those out first. Again, I'm gonna push it out. Now the next part would be like, I like to start off down here, because hair that is really far off from my brow, like down here, I like to start plucking those out. Sometimes people like to keep longer strands towards the end. I mean, you could do that, but if you just kind of want a clean brow, just make sure you pluck out all of these hair down here. Now, I also have a big cut in my brow, and that's not like a design that I put in, that's just like, I was born with it, I don't know. But basically, I wanna, if you have anything like this, you wanna make sure that you draw the least amount of attention towards it. I don't really care for it, but I just wanna make sure they're symmetrical. So sometimes this might have a larger or bigger arch compared to this one. So I try to make sure they're symmetrical. So that's why I try to draw the least amount of attention to like the cut here. You can also pull down on your eye a little bit. It makes it easier to pluck that hair out, because this is more of like a sensitive area, but if you pull it down slightly, it becomes a lot easier. Or you could use 2 fingers like I am, pull this end and the eye down. As you can see, that really starts to shape the brow, and it really helps you determine like where you need to take out additional hair and what kind of shape you need to go for, because it's starting to clear up and you get a better idea of that once you start to clear that part up. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this end. I'm gonna brush it out and then do like this part right here, pluck some of that out. But again, I want to make sure it's aligned with this here, because I want to draw the least amount of attention. So I want it to go kind of like a smooth line down. But for now, I'm gonna brush it up and do my best to pluck those hair out. Okay, so now I'm gonna leave it as is. It's still not as even as I would like it to be, but I'm gonna start at the top parts, and I'm gonna start particularly around this area, because this will really shape my brow for me. Now, if you want a more arched brow, this is kind of the area where you wanna do it, because you're gonna wanna pluck out more hair towards here, especially if you're not somebody that has a natural arch. Like I kind of do slightly right here and right here. But if you're not somebody that naturally has that, you can start to pluck out hair more towards here, but just be careful. Make sure you don't pluck, like, do you see how there's like a division right here? For most brows, there's a division here. You don't want to touch this part here, but you could start by plucking down some of these hair right here so you can create more of like an arch. I will try my best to kind of explain. I'm actually going to start by plucking some of that hair out, and maybe I'll define this line a little bit more and you guys could see what I mean by that. Okay, so I'm going to start plucking that part out. And another good tip would be to kind of now brush your eyebrows down so you can kind of see everything that's happening at the top. And vice versa, when you're working at the bottom, you want to push them up, but for now you want to push them down so you can see everything, all the hair that's at the top. And you can kind of see that it cleans it up, but it kind of defines that line a little bit more. So now I'm going to start working towards like this part of my brow. Like there are certain hair here that I'm going to start to pull out, and then we can try to see if that defines it enough for me. Okay, sometimes I even like to like completely take this part out if I want more like a straight brow. I've even taken this part off so I can give it more of like a pulled model-esque look, but today we're just gonna try to pull out some of this hair over here. Okay, now I'm gonna start cleaning this area slightly as well. Now you can push your hair up to kind of see the line that it's building, and I'm kind of happy with this. I'm just gonna go underneath a little bit and make sure it's kind of like a straight line so it's more flattering. But again, you don't want to pluck too much out. Just enough to kind of give it the illusion of like a straight kind of pulled look. Okay, and my eyebrows naturally don't really shape like that, so you're not going to get it perfect, but just enough, because even when you're doing your makeup you can, I mean, fill it in whatever, so you can give it that look. But the natural brow, you want to make sure it's as like neat as possible, so if you need to go for a different shape you can do that with your eyebrows when you're doing your makeup. That was too many words. I don't even know if that made sense. And then when I pull it up, I see here that there is a bit more hair that's adding, like it's like a confusing shape. And because I pulled out hair from here, I want to make sure that it balances out at the bottom. So just this hair right over here, I'm gonna do my best to kind of create again a smooth straight line that pushes my brow up. Again, you can pull it down. You can kind of see it better when I do this. Just this part right here, I'm going to try my best to pluck this out so I can get a nice, even looking brow. When I lift it up, I can kind of see that there's still more hair here that I could potentially get rid of. So I'm going to do that and hope for a better brow. I feel like this brow is done. I'm just going to go with my scissors one more time. That is the final look. I'm gonna do my other one too and try to aim for this look. My eyebrows never seem to like match up because of this, but I try my best and then I fill in the rest if I need to. Okay, and last but not least, I'm actually kind of done with the shape of my brows. Again, like I said, they're not 100% like even, but I'm happy with this because I feel like when I do my makeup, like I can kind of like fill it in the way that I want to give it a little bit more definition. But something that I will also use is thread to just clean up any hair along the top. You can also do it underneath, but it could kind of like cut you as well, and I don't really do it. And then some people like to do it straight from the thing, but not me. I don't really know how to do that, to be honest. But I just like to twist it, just a quick tutorial, and just start to thread it out here. To be honest, like a lot of people like wax their brows too. I feel like it kind of stretches my skin, so I don't really do that. I feel that threading really takes it out from the root, and it doesn't really pull your skin as much. So I like this better. It can hurt in the beginning, but now I'm like so used to it that it doesn't really bother me. I feel like it's whatever you like get your skin accustomed to. Like for me, waxing is just like really harsh on my skin, but other people are like really okay with it. So I mean, I personally think it tugs on it, but you know. And you can kind of do your unibrow as well. So now I'm gonna do a final brush through. I like to lift it up all the way through, except where my cut is. I kind of like to lift it up and then bring it down so it's kind of even. Okay guys, so I actually ended up plucking more from this brow because I felt like it was a bit thick. Again, it's not gonna be like super even, but this is a good like tip as well. Like once you're done and you kind of look at it, give it some time. If you feel like, you know, there are areas where you could pluck more from, you can continue to do that. Okay, well this is the final look. I feel like it looks a lot better now that I have plucked a little bit more under the eyebrow down here. Again, like I still have the cut, so it's not going to be 100% accurate, but I hope that these tips and tricks can help you guys out. So let me know if you guys have any tips for me, and I would love to try that out. But for now, if you like the video, please like it, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!